How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Resolve Blind. So, last time we went to court, and we are getting ready to cross-examine Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Albert Hairbrain. So, we're still in the beginning, so not completely sure of all the specifics of what's happened yet, but we'll get there. So, yes, my lord. Focus here. It's been a while. I hope I don't screw this up.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah, I probably will. Hi, Von Zeeks. Affront for murder. Alright, the corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck.
Hold it!
Pretty funny. Are you suggesting that's because he fell from a considerable height? Exactly. Which highlights something else about this whole rum business. What's that? The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success. Ugh, really? No shot. After the explosion, the cage with the fella inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair. So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did actually occur. Remind us, Professor, what was the cause of the fatal disaster? Oh man, it was really bad. I made a minor miscalculation to the angle of the beam projection, that's all. It's my mistake. Well, hey, it worked. So the angle of projection is critical, is it? And you calculated it yourself? Personally? Absolutely. The calculation is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out. Only, you got it wrong, didn't you, you moron? Yes, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake. And kill someone. Do people fall for that brazen confidence? I should try it. I took into account the subject's height, and weight, and the wind direction, and the ambient temperature. I considered every possible variable, like the size of the bowls, so I just don't understand how it could have happened.
Fucked it up.
Obviously, then, you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Osmond was wearing at the time, I suppose. Oh, so I actually figured out what the pun was for Mr. Osmond.
Oh, what was it?
Masked man. Where the hell... Oh, here it is. So, Odie Osmond. It's Odious Man. Odious Man.
Oh!
Yeah.
So he smells bad?
I think it's because he was he was boss of a large criminal organization.
Oh.
He's an odious man, so he had criminal ties. He smells bad?
Oh, odorous.
Odorous, not odious.
Odorous man.
So yeah, so he was a bad person, hence the pun in his name.
Wow, I'm a moron.
Crackling comments. Yeah, it should have been 3.
He just wrote someone's name in the death note.
I always wanted to do that. So much for safety first. The 3 must be for safety third. What? That was terrible.
I'm eating ice cream. It's so good.
Did you get that joke?
What? No, I'm eating ice cream.
So much for safety first. The 3 must be for safety third.
That was stupid. I didn't say
Safety
anything
first,
because
safety
I thought
third.
that you made that up. So I was like, okay, well that wasn't funny, so I'm just not gonna say anything.
No, that was him.
I can't believe that was actually Capcom. What the fuck?
Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense. That reminds me of when he made the joke of, you must D very doesy. Talking about mixing up the D's and B's and whatever.
Did I make that joke?
No, that was a Ryunosuke. He made that
Oh,
joke.
okay.
I didn't think I'd have to spell this out for you, moron, but here we go. Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it?
Yes.
2 right.
Left. Oh!
Obviously, at first, we thought the bloke had died to his spine snapping in half. But you're saying that's not the case?
What the fuck?
You'll get your answer once I finish my fish and chips, if you don't keep butting in every few seconds.
You never finish it. It's infinite.
Yeah, it's never ending. We all know it's a bottomless bag. The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. Into glass? It would be reasonable to assume that is the cause of death. Right. Left. That's what we all thought, but it was a red herring, wasn't it? There was a lesion in his chest where he clearly had been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart.
Hold it!
The defense knew nothing of this crucial information. The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Meanwhile, Game 1 Edgeworth would have been like, here's the autopsy report just now.
Yeah,
We didn't
literally.
weep. Sarcastic and insincere. Thanks. So, what was the nature of this sharp object? Sharp? Among the accused tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This. Ah, yes. Ah, yes, that would appear to be some kind of screwdriver, wouldn't it? Counts. Aha! There he is! My trusty little companion, Andrew. Me?
What?
Andrew? Of course! That makes so
Who's
much
Andrew?
fucking sense! Who would have thought that the screwdriver was named Andrew? Ah, do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my
You're
tools.
fucking crazy.
I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family. You're weird. Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead. I thought I was gonna name Philip. Well, it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank and shanked somebody.
That was inappropriate.
That isn't... It's blood. Beyond all reasonable doubt. No!
Blood?
And that's not all. Can you stop doing that next to me? The long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely inconsistent with the victim's wound. What? What? Oh no.
What?
God, I forgot about these fuck-ass jurors. Order, order. The court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence. Alright, Andrew. Behave.
Alright, Andrew.
So one of Professor Hairbrain's tools is the murder weapon. And then Andrew proceeded to jump up and like float in the air and then stab one of the jurors.
Oh god, it's sentient.
Great.
It's sentient Sandrew.
Wow. The victim was killed before he went anywhere, and this fellow's the only one that could have done it. He stabbed him midair.
What if this is so stupid because it literally makes no sense. I'm probably the only person that finds it funny, and then maybe you. But you know how like when your brain just does stupid shit and you're like, oh yeah, Andrew just started floating in the air. Now I'm picturing Andrew having like a little sprite, having a box, and I'm like, man, what would Andrew's voice sound like? And it just sounds like you. Just like really normally sounds
Hey
like
guys, it's me.
Hey guys.
I'm gonna stab one
No,
of you.
not even that. Not even that. Just what?
Yeah, puts it in the evidence log.
Yeah.
Stands up.
What do you
What?
What do you want?
What do you want? What grounds do you have for saying that? I think that I'm going insane because the evidence is talking to me. Do you really need to ask? There were only 2 people on that public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Odious Man. Odious Man. And the accused, Professor Hairbrain. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive. That's right, I saw him with my own eyes. Shut up. Furthermore,
Thanks.
following the explosion in Kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body. If I wanted you to chime in, I would fucking ask. So don't.
Yeah, could you imagine? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I said. In other words, only someone else on the stage with the victim could have possibly done it.
Oh, Hairbrain seems to be.
And Albert Hairbrain is the only bloke who fits the bill. Unless you got some other bright idea, Sunshine, in which case, let's hear it. Yeah, I don't know. My Lord Fred's silence is your answer, Inspector.
I said I don't know. It wasn't silent.
Can't a man have a moment to think? Gee whiz. So that's all the testimony I have to work with. I had no idea the victim had been stabbed. That changes everything. Where's Iris? Wait, Iris is in here, I forgot. Did Von Zieg's keep that to himself until now on purpose to gain the advantage? Holy shit, I just realized I'm gonna be voicing so many freaking people because Iris is not here.
No, Iris is not here.
I suppose all I can do is press these witnesses for much new information as possible. I'm gonna have you start voicing some of these dudes. Make you do what you did with Edgeworth at this point.
Trust me, I could do that.
Like, I honestly might have you because, like, this is kind of ridiculous.
There's literally like 8 people here.
Yeah. What grounds do you have?
These grounds.
Because, like, I know, like, I automatically just defaulted you doing Edgeworth. But I honestly might make some more exceptions. Because...
Excuse me. Exceptions? Hold the fucking phone. First of all, you're not accepting anything. I make my own rules, you motherfucker.
I actually
Second
can't
of
really do
all-
an Edgeworth voice anyway, so...
Oh. Second of all...
Professor Hairbrain, do you have some information that may be relevant here?
My name is Miles.
Hello.
Hello.
Professor.
What?
Damn. Sorry. Sorry. I was just calculating the ultimate coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body.
And I was just figuring out the best way to make you die.
And the witness stand is the best place for that? What is wrong with you? It seemed as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Oh my god! Yes, yes, that's right. Of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Well, he's a fucking idiot. What? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? Not me. I don't know. But there's no way that I could possibly have stabbed Mr. Asmund, as you say. Explain, please, Professor. Of course. This cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals, with blood running continuously through their veins. I had heard. Then surely you see, if I plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. Snow, a blood swimming pool. Ah. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood, you moron. Well, no, I suppose not.
Listen here, you moron.
You see, not one. I'm gonna ram these chips down your throat. Who are you?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
True, I didn't see anything like that.
It just explodes.
Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna
Who
voice...
let him bring chemicals in here?
That is a good question. I'm gonna have to take a second look at the jurors, and then I'm just gonna voice one of them, and I'll just have you voice the rest. Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. Man, you're amazing.
I like looking at our little Discord icons next to each other.
Order, order. Oh my god. This is too early for this. Pray forgive the discourtesy for filling up my fucking thing. If I savor a drop from my hollow chalice to accompany my old friends a-deucing.
Do you think Von Zieks is an alcoholic? Because he doesn't actually drink any of it, but I'm wondering if, like, does he just not drink it in the courtroom, or does he
I don't know.
Constantly throw it in general?
I feel like it's very rare that he would drink.
Yeah.
Here's to you, Albert. What did I win? Oh, you're too kind, Barack. But I'm really not a patch on you.
What did I win?
Oh.
Aww.
I would have liked that. No, you're not. No? You neglected to mention one crucial possibility.
Crucial possibility.
I have. Why don't you tell me what it is, then, fuckwad?
Whoa. Whoa.
A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound. Ah, of course.
A stab wound.
Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. A stab wound is when the stabby thing goes stabby wab. Where are they going with this? Very well. You will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. Okay.
My Apple Watch.
The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air.
Hold it!
Why would you think that, Inspector? When any wound, it's only when you pull the weapon out that the profuse bleeding occurs. Whilst it's still lodged in the body, it acts as a stopper of sorts. For want of a better word. I see. You don't need a medical degree to be aware of this basic fact. It's common knowledge for any investigator. Where's Susato-san when you need her? If you ask me, Bloke masked what he was doing from the view of the body before stabbing Asmund in the chest. And then he bring the victim off the stage with his fancy device, the screwdriver still where he planted it. I would never do such a thing. Not to my precious tools. I would never use them for such dirty work. You only use tools for their intended purpose. That's common knowledge for any scientist. Well, I'm not a scientist, so... The fact remains, the lack of blood at the scene can easily be explained, as the prosecution has demonstrated. So that's all the testimony I have to work with. I know he had been stabbed. That changes everything. Do you keep that self on purpose? Oh well, I suppose all I can do is press these witnesses for as much new information as possible. Well, I think we got everything we're gonna get. So I'm assuming it's the last statement. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air.
Yes.
So is there a way to disprove that?
Oh.
Well, blood. This is blood. Mr. Osmond's no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. Right. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine. Well, yeah, if he was beamed through, then why would it be on the floor? Which could be important information, so I should definitely make a note. Oh, well, okay, there we go. It was in the base of what remains of the kinesis machine. So he couldn't have beamed through the air with it in him if it was still there.
Objection!
Bingo. Easy. You say that while the weapon remains in his body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? I don't know what that word means. Look, there was no blood on the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is that the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping the heavy bleeding. It's common medical knowledge, my lord. Fuck. Even on your side of the
My
world.
lord, fuck.
Don't ever talk to me like that again. Yes, but about the screwdriver. The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. Moron. What?
What did you just call me?
It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. Literally, Gregson saw it. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, now you come to mention it, yes. Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the defense counsel to investigate? That you contravened the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? No, not at all. I wouldn't do that.
I'm a
I was just-
law-abiding citizen.
I just let him look, nothing more. I was very clear to, he wasn't supposed to touch literally anything. Yes, that's true.
I've never touched anything in my entire life.
This screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? If this tool had been in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away from a machine, then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's right. It should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Osmond. And been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Ugh. Wah! Order. How do you explain this, Inspector? I don't... It looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. But the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred. Obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. This is a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific possibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument, we can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. You ass. Lord Von Zeeks is stumped. Haha. Who the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Shut your dumbass mouth.
Was that Hairbrain?
Oh, it was.
That was awesome.
It sounded like fucking pain.
I
Do you have something
know.
to say, witness?
Hold it! That was
Yes.
fucking awesome.
I knew it. It bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry.
I still think you should make him nasally though. I think that's so
Yeah.
funny.
About what? Without delving into the details, there's no inconsistency. What?
I
Even if
said.
Andrew had been lodged to Mr. Osmond's his chest, not his ass.
What the
Well,
fuck?
My trusty tool wouldn't have
Andy, is
moved.
there something you would like to share with the class?
No, Andrew remained on the stage and consistent with my calculations.
No!
No. What?
I'm not lodging my shit anywhere, sir.
Catch. Oh, what the fuck? Ow! It would seem your illusions have been shattered.
That was stupid.
Clearly we should hear the accused explanation. Or should I say, this brilliant scientist's explanation. This is very annoying.
I wish that Hairbrain had like a fully voiced like scene. I actually, here's my big thing. I wish that Ace Attorney games had fully voiced breakdown scenes.
That would be awesome.
I think that would be so fucking
I wish
cool.
they did it similar to Professor Layton.
Yeah,
like,
like
important scenes
when
were
the
like,
really
playlist.
intense things happen, they're
Yeah.
like, all right, bring them in.
Just when I found an inconsistency in the prosecution's argument. Scientists. Those darn scientists.
Those darn scientists.
Very well, the defendant will testify again. Provide us with a scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense fails to hold. In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord. Apollo?
Apollo mention.
Yeah, whenever I think of the Ace Attorney breakdowns fully voiced, I think of the crossover where she's like, oh, I lost my glasses? Or like, you know, that whole scene.
I lost my glasses.
I
lost
you
my
a million
glasses.
Times. I lost my glasses. I lost my glasses. Yeah, so I remember that. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states that kinesis cannot be transport metal, I guess.
Metal.
Hence the metal weapon should have stayed put. In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't an inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was the patron of my research and a really fucking horrible person. Without him, my work wouldn't have been possible. I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. Please. I don't like you. What the hell? Wow. So, the thrust of your testimony, Professor, is that based upon his hypothesis, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it fucking remained lodged in the victim's butt, subsequent discovery on the stage, despite the victim being found elsewhere, is not an inconsistency. Yada yada, who gives a shit? And therefore, oh my fucking god. My lord, are you stupid? Therefore, Albert Hairbrain could still have been the killer. Is that what you wanted to hear? My great hypothesis holds, you see. I'm a killer! We had to make the cage used to contain the subject from wood for that very reason. I was not addressing you, witness. Well, I'm actually not a witness. I'm the defendant. Suspected killer. Professor Hairbrain, stop talking. Yes? Whose side are you on here? Science. I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. No. My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist, after all. Did you know that? Is he working for us or against us? It's very hard to tell. Let's see how you cross-examine this testimony, my Nipponese friend. I'm not your friend. Yes, fire away, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh my god, I don't get paid at all for this. The inconsistency explained. Alright, stupid. And yet your retort to my argument wasn't lacking in confidence in any way. No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Those were the words of a certain scientist I hold in the very highest esteem. His name was Albert. But you realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious situation, don't you? No scientist should strive to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth. More words of the same great scientist, you know? Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is the scientist? I'm afraid I could tell you, Miss Naruhodo. His name is Bingle. But as soon as I remember the magnificent genius's name, you'll be the first to know.
I'll let you know.
It might be worth keeping the names of your idols in mind. Do you mind? You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. The scatterbrain even forgets my name at times. So Lord Von Zeeks really did have a friend once. But I didn't notice hell freezing over. I heard that. Hold it! Your hypothesis states it, so this isn't proven then. No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis, but a good one based upon thousands of calculations. Do you know about the scientific method? But it is widely known that metals can't be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course, so I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct. What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy? It's the whole reason that the birdcage is made of wood, you see. Sorry, the birdcage? Yes, that's what I call the C. obtusa cage in which Mr. Asman was placed for the kinesis. Look at him. Ah, the jail cell in which the victim was detained. It does seem indeed to be made of a timber of some sort. I think you not to refer to it as an instrument of incarceration, Your Lordship. In short, any weapon lodged in the victim when he was beamed away by the instantaneous kinesis would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal, correct? Yes, that's it. Yes. It all fits perfectly with my mathematical model. But the ultimate conclusion, then, is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim, is it not? Indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this fucking nightmare. So yeah, it's not an inconsistency. You seem to be pleased by that. Yes, another example of my hypothesis holding true. But I sense some sarcasm, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you not pleased? No. Why?
Pretty cut and dry.
I knew it. At the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for Mr. Asmund losing his life. Be a good riddance, but the advancements of science is no excuse. I know that. No, you're quite right. Tell the court, did you have a close relationship with Mr. Asmund? Oh, well, no, not really. I mean, I only met him 2 or 3 times. We only ever discussed my hypothesis, and the project, and the research grant, of course.
Hold it!
Really?
How did you come to know Mr. Osmond in the first place? That is so small. A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published a little paper about my work. That's a scientific journal. Good gracious. I should need new spectacles. I might have had an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise, but at the time, I had no money. I had to eat tiny little meals at a tiny little cafe, drink watered-down water out of a tiny little glass.
Watered down water?
When Mr. Asmund read the paper, came to visit me in my tiny little laboratory. And offered you money to help fund your work. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. I handled the theoretical side of things, and Mr. Asmund provided me with an engineer for the practical. And the 3 of us produced that fantastic machine together. The machine that you brought to the Great Exhibition to demonstrate. We had to apply it for the government, for some sort of inspection to be allowed to the exhibit, I think. I didn't understand all this side of things. Mr. Asmund took care of all of it. He was a wonderful man. Really, I owe him everything. What a guy.
Hold it!
When you say that you built the machine together, does that mean you were involved in its construction? Yes. Well, not exactly. I'm not good with the practical side of machines myself, so the physical construction was done by an engineer. The remains of your creation now, though, following the explosion. Repair will no doubt be impossible. Yes, I realize that. But still, if someone were to gather all the broken parts, they could discover the secret of our hypothesis. Mr. Asmund and I toiled over that machine for so long, we put our hearts and soul into it. I have to protect our work. So what's left of the machine must be kept safe. It's only fair, because what happened was an accident. That's the extent of the testimony, then. Thank goodness for that. I don't want him doing any more damage. He's already basically proven that he could have been the culprit. But it seems as though all he really cares about is defending his hypothesis. Still, I wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed? Alright. Let's see. So it states the kinesis cannot transport metal, so it should have stayed put. Okay, so it's definitely going to be one of these 2 statements. My hypothesis states the kinesis cannot transport metal, hence the metal weapon would have stayed put. So we need to prove that his hypothesis is fundamentally flawed. So...
What about the mysterious weapon? Or not the mysterious weapon. The mysterious contraption.
Anything I can examine? There's some sort of lever here. Is this a crossbow?
It looks like a crossbow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, there we go. Now we know what killed him. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. A crossbow.
A cross gun.
I think it's probably used for the same
A
thing,
crun.
too. Well, there we go. Alright, well, I'm calling it now. He was shot in midair.
Yeah.
Looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. Ugh, I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. Noted.
Okay,
Screw where arrows are loaded. So I was right. It's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with a bowstring 2 times out of 3. I'm gonna use this on somebody. In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. Alright.
Okay, now stop there. A weapon can... Bruh. What did I just say?
Oh, I didn't think
want
you were
to
reading
go
that.
back there. You fuck. Okay, a weapon found hidden behind a tree. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't in the glass tower. Because I was like, oh, that can't be teleported.
Okay,
It's metal.
so it's very clear that this was used in the crossbow and fired.
Yeah, but we're just trying to figure out whether
Yeah.
or not... Yeah.
Alright, so cannot transport.
This is just saying, yeah, that anything metal can't have gone through there. But to be
this-
fair, that didn't go through there. That was left at the grounds. And that is a weapon. And this was also underneath the machine. It wasn't in the glass tower.
Hmm. And we still don't know what this was even for.
Well, but so isn't the big thing supposed to be right now? They think that they think that Andrew is the murder weapon. So we need to just let them know that, like, hey, Andrew is Andrew is metal.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be
Or
one
is-
of these.
I think it's got to be Andrew. Or I think it's got to be the screwdriver because we don't know that the other thing is a crossbow. Like, we know, but they don't. So maybe use the screwdriver on that.
Objection.
No.
Oh my god. Fuck.
It was wrong. No. Retire. Okay. Isn't an inconsistency at all. Wait. Hold on. Is this metal?
That is metal.
Oh, we're jumping like 20 steps ahead.
You got me fucked up.
Yeah, that was. We just jumped 50
So
steps
someone
ahead.
just grabbed him with superhuman strength and threw him through the tower.
So his monocle should have stayed. Professor Harebrained, you say that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made. Is that right? Well, what if I beam my hand through your head?
Well,
that's
scientifically,
right.
that would make zero fucking sense.
Scientifically speaking, what the fuck is wrong with you? Exactly correct. In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph that was taken at the scene. You dipshot.
You dolt.
In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. I don't like it.
Made of metal.
I don't like the way he looks, though.
He looks
You can
beautiful.
see that Mr. Osmond's wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim.
Why are his eyelashes so beautiful?
They just are. Metal, no, that metal, but fucking, no!
No, it's my least favorite fucking material.
We've already established that proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis is correctly predicted that outcome, it should also have been predicted that the metal rim spectacles would be found in the same place. My hypothesis! My hypothesis! Professor Harebrained, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed.
Sounded pretty easy for you to say.
Alright, so Gregson's gone. I also like how the jurors have not spoken once ever since I said you're gonna be
Yeah,
using
they're
them all.
useless.
Well, what is the implication of this? If, on the day in question, the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit. I'm gonna be really upset if Tussfells ends up being the culprit, because I like her.
No, she's
Well,
hot.
my hypothesis is sound, because she's the only other witness in this case. I proved it
Yeah.
that day. The experiment was a success. The experiment was proof of all my work. Alright, I'll just only voice this one. If I could say something here in my capacity as a royal fellow fucking society guy. Yes, juror number 4. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go to head. Whoa, we're moving a little quickly here.
As a matter of size, there's one thing I simply cannot abide. And that's fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science. What? Wait! Great Scott! Are you suggesting my scientist suspect?
Scott.
Why don't you go to hell? It's just been disproved, hasn't it? In front of all of us. In other
Why don't
words,
you just fucking kiss or something?
the whole
Goddamn.
demonstration was complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud. Alright, you can voice everybody else.
Oh god. I say, the wreckage of that machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined.
What even is that in your hand? A newspaper?
Yes.
No, never. That machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis. It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. I'm gonna make a machine that's gonna kill all of you.
What the devil is that blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a doctrine?
Bro, shut up. You barely spoke until just now.
Bro.
I don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? Wait and see? The fuck?
Objection!
Professor Harebrained
Object, please.
has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so what? Give me a minute.
Butthole.
Going to such trouble and
Give me a
expense
minute.
to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection!
Oh. You have no reason to be alive. Here's an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money. Here we go with the money. If the government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion possible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed. Conspirators?
What? Oh. What would be the value of such a grant? £10?
No, you dumb broad. Your order of magnitude out, man. Ma'am, madam, fucking
Man, shut the fuck up, man.
£500 a year! I hate you.
You can have handsome food on that much years. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this corn now.
You're gonna cause a fucking famine. Stop.
You're gonna cause a fight.
The society's noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently.
Oh, not the burgers.
And plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. I love cake. The people's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
I know that kid's getting spit everywhere.
Yeah, I'd be like, shut the fuck out of here.
I didn't say anything.
I haven't deceived anyone, least of all the government. My hypothesis
love
is
the
sound.
government.
The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection!
Shut up.
Oh. Shit, Dad's talking.
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower.
Crystal Tower keeps making me think of like fucking Pokemon. Mystic
Yeah,
Dungeons.
Sky
Sounds like a
Tower,
map.
Crystal Cave.
Yeah.
Which means that the experiment was a success, you idiots.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ah,
dun,
Barack.
dun, 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 dun.
And therefore, the only person who could possibly have committed this murder is the accused.
It's you.
Damn, I can't tell if you're helping me or hating me. Barack. Where is this headed? I have no idea. My lord, if I may. What? Lord Vazzy. Kind of rude. The prosecution would like to summon a new witness. New witnesses to the stand. Finally,
What?
some new faces, please. New
Oh
witnesses.
no, it's gonna be Madame Tossbells!
What would be the nature of their involvement? Was she even there?
I have no idea.
They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibition, who were copying special scenes.
Wait,
All right.
maybe. Hold on. What was
No, shut up.
Odie Asmon's
You're-
big thing? No, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to hypothesize. What was Odie Asmon's like deal? Was he important? I can't remember. Was he important somehow?
If
Is he
you
a
were
figurehead?
listening to a single thing
A single
single-
shing? Shut the fuck up.
Damn. He was a bad man. He was the head of a
Yes,
criminal
okay, he was a
organization.
gangster guy. So here's my thing. Madame Tussbells probably was there when he died to make a wax replica of him. Because he's a violent criminal who probably did some murder.
I
Oh
could
my
see
god, my
that.
brain is so fat and juicy.
Ew. They were spectators of the demonstration who were occupying special seats. Eyewitnesses.
Watch,
well.
watch me be right. If I'm right, I'm gonna be the coolest kid on the block.
Prosecution, you can call them. I should very much like to hear from the eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yeah, you could call him if you want. I don't really
And I,
care.
I think this is the perfect place to wrap up this episode.
No, I was about to be right.
Next time, we're going to hear from these eyewitnesses. Oh,
Next
boy.
time, Jay's gonna be right.
So, as always, if you enjoyed and want to show some love and support for the series and the channel, you know what to do. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you all
And comment that
in
I'm right.
the next episode.